Hey, covering the latest in wrestling entertainment and beyond since 2011. You are checking out episode number 1033 of the RCWR show. Lee Sanders here. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode for Wednesday of June 28th. 2023. We are just a few days away from the 4th of July holiday. What are you all's plans? How you going to be celebrating it? Definitely let me know. I'm most curious. I'm still actually trying to finalize how I'm potentially going to be doing it. I can tell you this much. It's really up in the air right now because first things first, I need to see how my work schedule is looking. And right now, I have no idea as far as that respected week goes. I have no idea of knowing how it all is going to be panning out. So it's hang on one second here. I just got a text message from wifey. Let me respond to this real quick. Make sure I'm reading this right. Hang on a second. I'm sorry about that. As we and going with the flow. Hang on a second. Sorry about that, guys. Hang on. What about you? Okay, sorry about that. Gotta make sure I respond to the wifey there. That's important. But yeah, so look, you guys may have noticed, and we're gonna have this be a really laid back, easy show that we're doing here tonight for you guys, because honestly, these past 2 weeks, the classes, the amount of homework, the assignments that I have needed to deliver, I mean, the work of it, just the totality, it's been cumbersome. I got to tell you, it's definitely been cumbersome, particularly with my English class. These past 2 weeks particularly, I had to turn in multi-pages and then wait to get feedback on those respected assignments, those respected papers, make the necessary changes, implement those changes in a whole new paper with additional research. I'm basically working on a proposal in the form of a business memo and all that, showing all my research information and everything. And it's really been all that and then some. You all may have noticed we did not do a show intro. Now, for our audio listeners, they're going to hear the usual intro because there's a totally unique show intro for our audio listeners on demand and on the downloads. But as far as the webcast stream goes, you all may have noticed, damn, you didn't come on with your traditional music. What's going on there, Lee? And I will tell you exactly what is going on. Man, so apparently YouTube, nice way to kind of open up the show and everything. If you are a YouTube content creator or you know someone that is a YouTube content creator, you definitely want to share with them this portion of the show right now, because man, this is a game changer, and I mean that in a very negative way. So my Monday kicked off. In between classes and everything, I had a moment to check up on some email, do so, and I see an email from YouTube, and it basically says that as far as my membership into the YouTube monetization partner program, that basically we've been suspended from the program. Now, when I first read this, the very first thing that comes to my mind, I'm not bullshitting you guys, the very first thing that comes to my mind is, well, thank God that I have not been relying on YouTube as some type of a main source of income or whatever, because that would just be insane. And you want to talk about, wow, now what are you going to do? Because I know that there's some pretty good, strong, reputable YouTubers that's out there, and they're pretty much their whole YouTube channel, that's their 9 to 5. That's what they work on 24/7 is their YouTube channel, and mad respect to them, more power to them and everything, right? And then you got most people, they just pretty much treat it like a side hobby, and hey, it's nice if they could generate some money on the side. And then you have people like me that, you know, I'm not worried about any money from YouTube if it comes in or not. My main thing is just honing down the craft, getting it down, all about perfection, right? That's all it is about. It's just honing the craft, and whatever endorsement deals that you're able to get for your brand outside of YouTube, hey, that's a great thing and everything, right? But yeah, so I got that email saying that we were kicked out of the YouTube monetization partner program. And the first thing that goes to my mind is, glad I'm not relying on this as a main source of income. And then the second thought I had was, well, wait a minute here. What exactly is going on? Why? I don't quite understand. So I look at the explanation, and they flagged the channel for, and at first I thought maybe it was somebody at AEW, because I'm going, damn, you know, because I was pretty critical in regards to AEW New Japan's Forbidden Door. And I saw that. I'm going, that email, I'm going, man, maybe I ruffled some feathers. Maybe I pissed somebody off at AEW, because I know AEW, they like go on this weird, but no, it turns out it wasn't AEW. So I'm looking to see what exactly is going on here, as apparently it was YouTube's algorithm system, however it was. And one of the things that they said was reuse content. And you're going, well, wait a minute. What the hell do you mean reuse content? That sounds so goddamn vague. And then right up under that heading, it says something along the lines of, using other people's content without adding any type of originality to it, without basically making it be a original unique piece of work. I just couldn't help but look at that and go, well, wait a minute, this makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. What the hell? And I'm actually looking right now. Hang on here. Yeah, this was so freaking hilarious here. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now because I just couldn't help but go into the back here. Channel uses someone else's content without making changes that add significant value. So you hear that, you go, what the fuck does that? And so they give you these dues. They say examples of what is allowed to monetize: funny or thoughtful revision of content you didn't originally create, clips of other people's content as part of a critical review, a scene from a movie when you've rewritten the dialogue and changed the voiceover, replays of a sports tournament where you explain what a competitor did to succeed or fail, reaction videos where you comment on the original video, edited footage from other creators where you add a storyline or commentary. So when you hear all that as far as dues, and you're familiar with my YouTube channel, you go, yeah, Lee, you check off all those boxes, dog. What the hell's going on? Now, as far as the don'ts, what they don't want you to do that will not get your stuff monetized: short videos you compiled from other social media sites, collections of songs from different artists, even if you have their permission, clips of moments from your favorite show edited together with little or no narrative, content uploaded many times by other creators, promotion of other people's content, even if you have their permission. And as you hear that list, I'm sure once again you guys are kind of shaking your heads, probably going, dude, that has nothing to do with you. What you said as far as the do's, what they want you to do, that's you down the middle. The don'ts, yeah, dog, that's not you whatsoever. What the hell? And so I went back and forth that same day with actually, first thing I did, I put in an appeal right then and there on the spot. They were like, look, if you want to submit an appeal, you can do it. Give us a video that's under 5 minutes and explain to us your whole process, what goes into making your videos, yada, 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 yada. So that's what I did. You know, it wasn't even 24 hours. I believe it was somewhere around 15 hours later that I get a message back saying, yeah, we reviewed, and yeah, no, what you provided isn't sufficient enough because this is only talking about a small portion of content on your channel. And it's, well, wait a minute, what else is there? What the hell are these guys talking about? This makes no sense. So then I got in contact with a live agent via chat, explained to them what was going on, and I get this long back and forth. It was one of those, okay, obviously this person is reading a goddamn script and they are just, I understand your frustration. Oh, we appreciate you as a content creator. You know, all this other crap. And that was about 20 minutes. I said, look, you know, I kept my cool, I kept it professional, but I said, look, what can we do right now to escalate this situation to the powers that be so that they can actually manually go in and review the channel, see what the heck is going on here? Because how am I supposed to know exactly what is not suited for monetization? You know, how am I supposed to know what content is when you're not telling me which content in question is the issue, so that I don't do content like that anymore? Again, not doing anything wrong. So they escalated it. I get a follow-up message earlier today from YouTube. And they say, hey, yeah, you know, we're just following up with you. So, you know, yes, you know, from what we were able to see, you know, yes, you know, these are the areas, you know, again, look at our do's, look at our don'ts. So this is a dead end, basically, is the whole point. It's a dead end. So I'm looking at this very baffled going, what the hell is going on here, right? Now, they called themselves adding a little bit more information in regards to my video appeal. Their response to that was, your appeal focused on a small number of videos on your channel instead of explaining your channel as a whole. In order for your suspension to be overturned, the majority of your channel should follow our policy. And again, it's like, well, what the fuck are these guys talking about? So I couldn't help but scour on YouTube trying to see if other content creators such as myself have been having this same issue. And apparently, and I wasn't even aware of this, but apparently YouTube had most recently revamped their monetization policies. You know, they're calling themselves trying to be a little bit more strict and everything. And okay, right, that's fine, you know, what have you. But the way that they have it set up right now with their algorithm, and when they supposedly have actual human beings review the content in question, when one feels, hey, you flagged this falsely and everything, and you know, you still get the same results that you do. Looked on YouTube trying to see if there was some other content creators that were having the same issue, and it turns out there is a ton of content creators that's having this same issue, have not done anything wrong. I see from my people, particularly in the gaming community, doing what they normally do. They're playing the video game. they're offering commentary and all that good stuff, and they're getting flagged. There's a lot of good folks out there that's, it's wrong what's happening. They are being flagged unfairly, and it's not even warranted when it's all said and done. So from what I was able to see, now I'm only hypothesizing, this is just a theory, but stay with me here, right? Because I might be on to something here. It seems that for those who are kicked out of the program right now, you know how you go on YouTube and you do those little YouTube short videos? That's pretty popular. That's one of the most popular ways to get yourself over on YouTube, especially if you're trying to get a lot of views, you're trying to get a lot of engagements, you're trying to have people check out your channel and everything. That's one of the best ways to do it, is YouTube Shorts. You've seen, if you've checked out my YouTube channel, you've seen from time to time I've uploaded shorts. Nowadays I'm mainly uploading myself in front of the camera, showing whatever. I remember there was one joint that was kind of popular. I was trying little yachts pizza, and that was hilarious. It had Tam's coworkers cracking up big time over that, just how nasty the pizza was, and the fact that I had the audacity to put that pizza right into the trash can from the oven, take a bite, put it in the trash can. Good shit right there. But no, so I'm bringing up the short videos for a reason. Now, let's say you're watching TV. There's a really cool moment that happens. Think of your favorite sport. You witness a really cool moment that goes down, and you're going, man, this is definitely going to be a moment that's going to be looked upon and talked about for, a couple of days, for some weeks to come. Man, let me go ahead and share this. I'm going to record this on my TV, and I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel. I'll just make it a short, or I'll just upload it as a regular video. Well, sadly, when you're not showing your face and or adding some type of color commentary to that, yeah, that's a problem. You're not doing something to make it unique and original in a way where, this is your content. I know that sounds really weird, because I know some of you guys, you're hearing that and you're probably going, but wait a minute, I recorded the goddamn thing, Lee. It's my original content. What the hell? But this seems to be the way that the YouTube algorithm is working now. So my best advice to you guys, as cool as it is to do that thing with the YouTube shorts, you want to upload some clips, things of that nature, or upload it the other way and just do it as a regular video, stop doing that, because that will eventually get you flagged. I know that amongst us in the wrestling community, there are some particular moments that goes down. I think one that comes to mind, Randy Orton being attacked by a fan in Africa, and right, that's really cool that we want to upload clips like that to wherever. But the thing, particularly on YouTube, that you got to keep in mind, unless you are adding some type of unique color commentary to it to make it officially be, flush it out more and everything, add some, you got to at least add commentary to it, and hey, why this, here's what happened, here's the story, here's the background, here's why this was good, here's why this was bad, right? You got to look about it, think about it, and execute in that type of style to really try to make the content be engaging, witty, insightful, humorous, insightful, all that good stuff and everything. So I had to go in manually, look at every single video that was uploaded into the YouTube channel over the years. That's a lot of content too, because we're talking about a lot of content that goes all the way back to 2011. And I was able to come across a handful of videos, and I said, okay, well, I bet you these were probably the videos in question no more. We should be good to go from here on out. So there is good news, which is I can reapply in 30 days, since this was basically, first offense, if you will. I get to reapply in 30 days. And by then, I've already put everything in private mode. The videos in question, I've already put them in private mode, so there's no reason for those videos to be included when I get ready to again. Another thing that you want to make sure that you're staying on top of is the type of music that you're using. Even if you have the rights for it, try to do your best at all costs to not use any music. And if you are going to use some type of music, use royalty-free music. Now, for those of you that check out the webcast shows where you get to see me in the flesh, you know that if you listen very closely, you know that one of the songs that we have used for, my God, a little bit over a year now, we've used A Tribe Called Quest, You Should Know. And sadly, as of tonight, we had to retire that song because I love that song. I love A Tribe Called Quest. I thought it fits our show perfectly and everything, especially the way we have it mixed in with the video graphic intro card and all that. Great shit. But, we started having copyright issues using that song, I would say about maybe 6 months ago almost. And whatever's going on in Russia, whatever's going on with Russia, and you all know, I'm not just saying it just to sound dumb, but, what's going on in Russia. So what ended up happening was the people in charge of Tribe Called Quest music licensing and all that, their whole thing is, hey, we're not allowing this song to be heard over in the Russia territories. So as a result of that, monetization was disabled. For any video that I would upload that would include that song, monetization would be disabled. But YouTube would always say to me, hey, you're okay, this ain't a copyright strike, this isn't a community strike, we're just letting you know, you can't use this song anymore. If you want to, you can replace the song and you can monetize it that way. We can give you some stockpile audio, but you can't. So we retired the song. I've already got a new song in the mix, royalty-free song that I'll be using going forward. It's good stuff. You would have heard it tonight, but I wasn't able to switch the graphics card out in time, so that's where it stands. So you want to stay on top of all of those things. And for those of you that have not had any issues, the only thing I have to say to that is you have not had any issues yet. But trust me, eventually it's going to happen. So before what I experience happens to you and your channel, take the initiative right now. And, I don't care if you gotta temporarily put your channel in private mode so you can go in and, depending on how large your library is, but the sooner you get started on going through your channel, scrutinizing the hell out of it and making sure that, okay, I'm on point, YouTube has no reason to be coming after me and, kicking me out of the or suspending whatever the terminology they want to use. When it's all said and done, you're being booted out of the monetization program. Get started now so that you can avoid the headaches that will come later as a result for it. Like I said, when it initially went down with me, I was cool, calm, and collected. I remember saw my wife as she was getting ready to head out the door for work. And I told her what was going on. The first thing that came out of her mouth, good thing you're not relying on YouTube for money. I said, yeah, seriously. And we kind of chuckled about that. And it was just, okay, so what's next? Because her whole thing was, can you still make content? I said, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, fuck it. Just keep making content. And whatever advertisers that we get outside of YouTube, which we always do usually. And it's kind of like, okay, it is what it is. So hopefully that helps you guys off. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit long-winded on that one, but I know there's a lot of you guys in the podcasting world, particularly in the wrestling community. A lot of you guys do stuff on YouTube and all that. So hopefully you found this information helpful and you fucking utilize it already. So crazy week so far. A little bit of a what's going on here and everything, but yeah, so much so didn't get a chance to check out WWE Raw. I mean, look, we got the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up. I will say this though, and we will get into the card for Money in the Bank later on, okay? But AEW Dynamite tonight, and I'm not even going to put a poll out. I'm not even going to do a full-blown review for AEW Dynamite. I gotta say, tonight's Dynamite, and we're days removed from the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, which, by the way, I appreciate the decent amount of you guys that had turned out, whether you represented live or you had checked out the show for on-demand and on the downloads. You all know who you are. Thank you all so much that had checked out my Forbidden Door post-show. I had fun doing it. And it was funny when we were going over the polling results. I'm sure some of you guys remember the polling results initially. And I believe the YouTube poll was the one where it was like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? And I remember saying to you guys, now, the YouTube poll, it is early. Give it some time. That's going to change drastically. Just wait and see. Because remember, 100% was thumbs down for Forbidden Door, and I told you guys I would circle back on it next time we do a show and everything. So just to, right, because I got to do it that way, right? I got to do it that way because I know some people are going to be a little bit curious. Whoa, that YouTube poll, what the hell, right? So as it stands now, just one final time, particularly the YouTube poll again, it was at 100% thumbs down for Forbidden Door. As it stands right now, here tonight for June 28th, 2023, 56% of you have given Forbidden Door a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 44% of you gave it a thumbs up. Now, there are those of you that are probably going, well, that's good for that, but what about Twitter? What was the final Twitter polling results there, Lee? I can actually tell you that because I have not really been tweeting that much this week, so I can easily retrieve that. By the way, are you guys hyped? Are you guys excited? Tomorrow's the big day. AEW Fight Forever comes out tomorrow, Thursday, June 29th, at least out here in the US, but I think that's a global worldwide release. Are you guys pumped up? You excited? I took the liberty of pre-ordering my game. I'm not getting the deluxe edition. I thought that was a lot of money to be putting out there because I have Xbox. So for me to shell out $70+ and they're talking about, oh, it's 10% off right now. Act now, because it's only available for a limited time. That sounds like a damn scratch/tickle. Give me a really good deep discount. Make it 25% off, right? You want my money like that? You want me to buy the deluxe? Well, give me a good deal. Give me something I can really sink my teeth into. God damn it. So yeah, I pre-ordered through the Xbox Marketplace. Some of my buddies, shout out to Eddie, because I think Eddie is playing it right now as we speak, and Eddie was like, oh, cool, Lee, are you able to play it right now? I said, give me a second. Once it's downloaded at least 30% of the game, it's playable. I'll tell you, when it reaches 30%. Sure enough, No, I basically, as soon as I booted the game up and it started loading, I basically was taken to the home screen and a message popped up saying, you all know the message, hey, you're too early, basically, come back. And in my case, I have to come back Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern. That is when I will be able to play that game. So I know all throughout the day tomorrow there's going to be boatloads of content creators that's going to be uploading. But for those of you that want to know what I honestly think about the game and whether or not it's something you all should check out, spend the $60, $70 plus on. Once I get home from work tomorrow night, I will just be live streaming for a handful of hours playing the game. You all are more than welcome to come by the stream, check me out and everything. And what I'm gonna do, that stream, it'll just strictly be I will strictly have that stream go down on Twitch. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can also do it for YouTube, but with everything that's going on with YouTube right now, I mean, they keep flip-flopping, right? But definitely I'll be streaming it on Twitch, and maybe what I'll ultimately do is I'll probably get with Jason Solomon of Solid Monster Sounds Off. Maybe ask him for some solid advice, just to make sure that if I were to upload stuff, video game footage and all that to YouTube, I'll probably pick his brain, find out what works, what's the best practices. That way I don't have any red tape with YouTube and everything. Twitter, you guys said the following for Forbidden Door. 13% thumbs down, 18% of you staying in the middle, 68% of you giving it a thumbs up. And over on Facebook.com/the RCWR show, see what you guys are saying over there. Hang on here, I gotta switch profiles. Best part I love these days, when I need to check out what's going on with the social media feeds, I can easily just pop in and I don't have to scroll trying to find something of significance I want to mention here on the show. So that's good. Facebook, you guys said 100%. 100% of you gave the event a thumbs up. So to everybody that have voted, appreciate you guys. If you missed out the Forbidden Door post show, definitely check it out. It's available on demand and on the downloads for you guys. I was pretty stoked. I was pretty amped up to check out this week's AEW Dynamite, because for me, it's okay. So now this is it. We are done with the whole Forbidden Door crossover thingamajigga. Now we can just focus on the in-house talent under the AEW umbrella and go from there as we pretty much build up to the Wembley Stadium event and everything. And this was just overall a pretty flat show, I would have to say. Yeah, I was looking at this, and shout out to the people I was interacting with in the Soup Discord and everything. And we all were just kicking back watching this, and a lot of us were having a hard time really finding our groove into getting into the festivities of this episode and everything. It's just one of those episodes where you're going, not really a lot of sizzle, not really a lot of pop. Honestly, you're kind of going, I can't believe I'm getting ready to say this, but keeping it 100 with you guys, I couldn't help but at one point when they went over the card for Rampage and they mentioned a little bit about the matches that's going to be coming up for Collision, I couldn't help but be more excited about those as opposed to what was happening tonight with Dynamite and everything. We had John I was about to call him Mashley. I don't know why. John Moxley taking on Ishii was pretty much one of your, if you want to talk about highlights, that pretty much is like, hey, this is your go-to and everything. Moxley bleeding in these matches, man. I'm telling you, you can literally, I know AEW has hooked up with freaking DraftKings now, but seriously, seriously, you should do a DraftKings joint on if Jon Moxley will bleed in this match, because so many people would get fucking paid as soon as you hear the over and under spread on that one, right? So I'm telling you, you're looking at this, and you know, I know for some people this match really wasn't their cup of tea. For me personally, you know, it was good shit. I'm familiar with Ishii. I've followed a little bit of his work in New Japan off and on over the years. So for me, I really didn't mind this, but my whole thing was, let's get back to the Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley angle, because that's what's viewers are really most captivated by. They want to continue to see the development of this, and I'll give them this, the way that this match was booked. The fact that you had Jon Moxley at ringside, but he pretty much was in Ishii's corner, and you had Claudio, who obviously was in Moxley's corner. Yeah, I like those dynamics that was going on at ringside, because you've got Kingston very, very, very hurt and pissed off at Moxley for aligning himself with the Blackpool Combat Club members and everything. Moxley picking up the win and everything, and as he's checking out of the ring, you know, he pretty much does a nice little shoulder bump to Eddie Kingston as he's heading up the ramp. And I love that trash talking by Eddie Kingston, where he's saying to him, yeah, good. You should feel real good about yourself. I knew you could do it. I knew you could beat the crap out of him. You just proved my point, which is you can do this shit by yourself. You don't need these guys, especially Claudio Castagnoli, right, continuing to egg on the animosity that's there between Kingston and Castagnoli. You know, all of those interesting dynamics, all that worked. The match itself, you know, it was what it was and everything. MJF, meanwhile, seeing him try to become buddy chums with Adam Cole, I like that. That was actually pretty funny, especially when MJF ran into Roderick Strong. He called him generic white man. I popped on that one. Basically referencing the personality. I popped on that one. MJF is trying to do his best to convince Adam Cole otherwise, that the two of them working as a cohesive unit would be really something that would serve both of their interests. So, and as a way of basically, look, good free will, and I mean no harm, he pretty much gave Cole an invitation to tag along with him. I guess he was taking him out on a night out of town, just a couple of bros hanging out. Now I wonder, bros before hoes? Because I would imagine MJF is going to be alone on that one. I wonder how Britt Baker feels about the fact that her boo was hanging out with MJF all night there, right? We won't know, unfortunately, because Britt Baker, she was scheduled to have a Owen Hart tournament match there with Ruby Soho. That was supposed to happen on tonight's Dynamite. And I totally forgot about that, because I remember at one point I said, hey, aren't we getting at least one Owen Hart match? And I think it was Eddie again. He's like, yeah, all of those are going to be going down on Saturday's Collision. But apparently we were actually supposed to get one Owen Hart joint from the women's side. Apparently Britt was ill. So, you know, you hear that, and I would imagine that there's a decent amount of people that watch Dynamite when they first heard that. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a decent amount of people that went, but we haven't seen her on TV in many weeks, and now you're saying she's ill? Like, what the hell? Yeah, I'm right there with you. Seriously, I'm right there with you. There's just so much that just kind of was not working in this episode to a degree. Orange Cassidy, God bless Orange Cassidy. I fast forward. I know he was involved in a trios match there as he teamed with El Hero del Vikingo and Keith Lee. By the way, I don't know who got into Keith Lee's ear. I don't know if it was Mia Yim or whoever, but whoever was able to convince him to ditch the white beard and the white hair because he was looking like somebody's grandpa. You know, and look, that's not a knock. That is not a knock. It's just, in all honesty, the man was looking years ahead of his time. Years and years and years ahead of his time. I get it. I get that some people out there, they go gray extremely early. One of my former best friends, he started getting gray hair in his early 20s. Nice, pretty full set of hair, but he was starting to get grays in his 20s, and by the time he was 35, his hair was all silver, like a combination of a light silver and little tiny bit of picture Jay Leno's hair, where it is pretty much where it was, I would say, about 15 years ago, or right before he left the Tonight Show. Yeah, my friend's hair, like around age 35, his hair was right about there, and people thought he was, and I used to always say to him, why don't you just shave it, dude? Just go completely bald. And his whole thing was, yeah, I want to use it before I lose it. So I was like, well, yeah, I hear you. Okay, cool. Right. All right. I respect that. Whoever got in Keith Lee's ear, though, mad props. Mad props. Orange Cassidy, Vikingo, Keith Lee taking on Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Daniel Garcia. I fast forwarded through this. I know there's a lot of Orange Cassidy fans that's out there right now. For me, particularly, I am just off the Orange Cassidy bandwagon. It's just so one-dimensional right now. And until you put Orange Cassidy in some type of a position where, wait a minute, it seems as though this person has had Orange Cassidy's number, not once, because at least one time you could say, that person was just lucky when it's all said and done. But then, for a person to have that number a second time, maybe a third time, this is the problem right now. Like I said, I think it was during the Forbidden Post show, but the way this is really coming off, and on the one hand, you can say, look, that's great if they want to do it that way, but you also got to look at the flip side to it, which is to this point. Okay, you want to have there be a fighting champion. You want to have somebody that one of the first things you think of when you see them is, hey, they have that fighting spirit no matter what type of match it is, whether it's a trios or it's a tag team or it's a handicap or they're involved in some type of a gauntlet or a battle royal. They're always taking whatever challenges. They're always stepping up to the plate and everything. They never say no. They never back down. They don't know when to quit and everything. And when you look at the way this championship, this AEW Intercontinental Championship is being conducted right now, it's right up there with that John Cena U.S. title reign, equivalent to what's going on with Seth Rollins and that World Heavyweight title, respectfully. And I commend AEW for going in that respected direction. But I think that there is definitely a good vocal minority of fans that's out there that's looking at how many times this guy is able to defy the odds, and as a result of that, they're now starting to turn on Orange Cassidy. Their whole, and that's the thing that I've noticed, the one overall narrative that I've noticed with the criticism of Orange Cassidy right now. It's not so much his in-ring ability, even though you got some people that's basically saying, it's the same shtick. I don't mind it. I find his style of entertainment in the ring, I find it to be unique. And I don't mean that in certain people that know me, they know when I use that word unique, right? But it can have two meanings. No, I think that what he has, it works for him. Not everybody can pull it off. He's got the right look for it. He's got the right precision, execution. I think he's great. He's got this weird man with the iron fist kind of vibe thing going on, meets Clint Eastwood's The Man with No Name. Remember that? Remember how essentially how in the what was it? For a few dollars? Remember how for the first 25 minutes of that movie, we didn't see Clint Eastwood, if I remember it right, might have been a little less than that, probably 15 minutes, but we didn't see Clint Eastwood do anything. And he had that, what was it, his left hand was concealed in everything, and for very good reason, because essentially when that hand came out, that hand was pretty much the hand of God, and it was taking a life guaranteed, right? And I like how they've been operating with Orange Cassidy to a certain degree. He's kind of, been in that realm. When he starts using those hands, when he's done with the showboating, I love that type of psychology that Orange Cassidy puts out there and everything. So no, I don't really have a problem with his in-ring ability. The issue that I have right now is, we've had this guy, goddamn, you could have a fucking building drop on this man, and this man will still come out your AEW Intercontinental Champion. We need to see somebody pose a legit threat to this man's championship, and I can't help but wonder who's that person ultimately going to be that's going to dethrone Orange Cassidy. And you would just hope that Tony Khan and crew, they have looked down the road and they are thinking about, what's the end game to this, how are we going to operate here. But I fast forward the hell out of, because I at this point I'm just kind of like, and I like Keith Lee, I like the other people, but it was just kind of one of those, not for me, just not tonight. I'm good tonight on Cassidy and crew. I'm really, really good. From there, Renee. Very uncharacteristic what was going on with Renee here, because Renee, I remember at one point, she caught up with Moxley and was having a few words with him, and Eddie Kingston, pretty much got up in his face and was like, I'll tell you exactly what I had said. So they pretty much were picking up right where they left off, and Renee was getting so pissed off, that these two guys were fighting. She actually physically got in between these guys trying to break it up and everything, and Moxley finally walked off after things just continued to get pretty heated. Nice heated back and forth exchange between Kingston and Moxley, where Renee just starts grilling Kingston. Her little pint-sized ass got all up in his face, hitting him on the chest, saying, you need to take care of this, you need to end this right now, and stormed off. And I'm looking at that and I'm going, okay, that's great that we're trying to get Renee involved in everything, but at the same time, this is where Renee starts. I felt it was inconsistent for the simple fact that we've got Renee, who, my God, we have seen Jon Moxley in some of the most fucked up situations. And if there was ever a time for Renee Paquette to come out there, check on her husband in story, it was warranted, and the trigger was never pulled. And yet we go ahead and we do something we have her be involved in this respected angle. It felt very uncharacteristic. It came like from left field, basically. Was not really a fan of it whatsoever. Now, some of you guys may say, well, Lee, what do you think about when Moxley and Hangman Page? I actually didn't mind that. I actually did not mind that, because it was very subtle. It was because at the end of the day, Hangman and Moxley and Story had mutual respect for one another. So I actually didn't mind the way Renee was incorporated there, and how, to a degree, she didn't meddle. She didn't get involved. If you really take a step back and really look at it for what it's worth and everything. But to go in this direction that we did, it's got me going, okay, so are we going to expand upon this? Is there going to be a lot more Renee involved between Eddie and Moxley? And if so, how far are we going to take it? Is it going to be a case where Renee maybe takes a bump to really take things to that next level between Moxley and Kingston? I mean, I could see something like that going on, but yeah, I just felt that was a little bit odd seeing how that had played out tonight. Something else that rubbed me the wrong way was when the Bucks and Hangman Page were cutting their respective promo saying they wanted to put out there a trios challenge. Dark Order comes out. They're pretty pissed off over the fact that Hangman Adam Page, to basically quote one of my favorite Prince songs, although I will say Alicia Keys, her rendition, very nice. The key to a good remake, if you want me to listen to a remake, the key for me in checking out a remake, it ain't got to be good. It's got to be so damn good it's literally right up there with the original, and it's done in a way where, you know what, they actually tried to make it be their own. They didn't just try to, okay, drum right here, snare right here, right? Okay, we're gonna do, G9 key right here, whatever, all that shit, right? But Dark Order, just seeing them being so butthurt over Hangman Page. I mean, tonight was literally Prince's "How come you don't call me anymore?" I mean, seriously, I was ready. Oh shit, man. I mean, I was ready to fucking see Johnny Huggy. I was ready to see Johnny Huggy and fucking Evil Uno just come on up there to fucking Hangman and go, "What I wanna know, baby, if what we had was good, how come you don't call me anymore?" I mean, seriously, this was some fucking bullshit, and it was just fresh on my mind from a couple of hours ago, but I had read a really cool article about the cast from Boy Meets World. You all remember that show. I mean, if you were a teenager and at some point you checked out the ABC lineup back in the day, you remember that show. It ran for a decent amount of years. Star of the show was Ben Savage. And the cast members, the other three, because remember, there were four of them. So the other three, they were talking about how there was a period in time when they were doing meet and greets at conventions. Ben Savage was part of it. And then he said, I'm going to back out on this. But if you guys want to continue to do it, hey, man, God bless. You guys got it. And so they decided to keep doing it. The girl, she had welcomed her first child a couple of years back, and Ben was there for that, called, checked in on her, and then one day he just disappeared. And in her words, she said it feels as though he ghosted us, because on top of no longer doing the conventions, no longer checking in, I mean, he stopped calling, he stopped texting. They tried repeatedly. Now, one thing before they launched their respective podcasts, because I think it's all three of them. Yeah, all three of them that do the podcast together. They tried to get Ben involved, and he was like, "No, I don't want any part of that. Y'all knock yourselves out." But like, it's been 3+ years since they heard from the man, so he's obviously in a entirely different place, and far as they know, no hatred, no animosity, none of that stuff, and it's just, well, that happens. That's life. People move on and everything. And these guys, I mean, my God, you'd swear that Evil Uno and Johnny Huggy fucking gave Hangman Adam Page their right or left testicle, a fucking liver, some lungs or some shit, and they have not gotten a thank you card from Hangman. And that's how mad they are about this shit. And no, to the contrary. So, this was just, let me see if I got this straight. I'm so mad at you for not returning my calls, for not texting me, that I'm going to have a match with you and I'm going to kick your ass. That's how we're going to take care of this. It was just, it was lazy for me. It was just extremely lazy booking, stupid booking 101 for me, for what it was worth. I found it to be extremely comical when it was all said and done. Then to see a conflicted Hangman. What's so conflicted? Put them in their goddamn place. They wanted it. They know what they were getting themselves signed up for. So, I didn't care about this, and this was just rubbish, absolute fucking rubbish. But I did enjoy seeing the Blackpool Combat Club come out afterwards, beat the shit out of all of them. Somehow Eddie Kingston got mixed in there. I don't know, maybe he was getting his ass beat in the back by them, and they drug his ass out, and they pretty much finished it up, or what. But yeah, they got their asses stomped. Moxley, grabbing a microphone, says it's been a blast and that it's about time that these two respective factions finish this. They've been pushing each other to the limits, and now that they've pushed beyond it, July 19th, Boston, TD Garden Arena. In the words of William Regal, blood and guts. You thought I was going to say War Games, but no, blood and guts. And I chuckled really hard at this, because at this point I'm going, but Moxley, we get blood and guts every single week. You're like the main poster child for it, my dog. You're always busting up, bleeding and everything. Moxley sneezes, he bleeds. Moxley farts, he bleeds. Moxley eats, he bleeds. Moxley has sex, he bleeds. Moxley takes a shower, he bleeds. Moxley pees, he bleeds. Moxley just thinks, he bleeds. It's just, that's what's going on with this guy, man. But who asked for this? Who asked for the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club to? I thought this was done. I got to be honest with you guys. I thought this was over and done with. So find it to be interesting that we're going back to this. And then the main event of the night, Tornado tag match, Sting, Darby Allin taking on Sammy G and Painmaker. Poor Tony Schiavone. He kept messing that up. Painmaker, Chris Jericho, Painmaker, Jericho, Chris Jericho, Painmaker. Schiavone was struggling like I don't know what in regards to that. I didn't forget about Jungle Boy Jack Perry, by the way, for those of you that Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Well, I tell you what, I'll come back to that Tornado tag match in a hot second. Let's go ahead. Let's address Jungle Boy Jack Perry's promo right now. First of all, you knew there were warning signs that this show probably wasn't going to be good when, off the break, we hear Taz on commentary with Excalibur and Tony Schiavone. Now, if it escaped my ears, you all let me know. But I swear I never once heard Tony Schiavone and or Excalibur say, "Hey, pal, how you doing? Last time we saw you was at the pay-per-view, and we know you had, disappeared after the events that happened between Hook and Jungle Boy," which, by the way, folks, we'll show you the highlights from that a little bit later on. But how you doing? We're trying to reach out to you and everything. We didn't hear back from you, so everything good? At least sell the motherfucker. At least build up on it. Look, if they did do it, great. But from what I was able to see and hear, for the most part, as I had in the background, unless I missed it, I didn't hear it. So that was a red flag to me right there. And then when we finally see Jungle Boy come out there, okay, this should be good, right? This is the moment. All right, he's been acting smug online in interviews, meet and greets. Okay, here we are. We got it. That promo was bad. That promo was so bad. How bad was that promo, you ask? That promo was so goddamn bad. I just couldn't help but think about the rocky start to Dominic Mysterio in WWE when he started being a character on a regular basis. Even Dominic Mysterio's work back then was better than what we got from Jungle Boy tonight. I was not a fan of this whatsoever, and because he starts saying, because he's still young, he's cashing fat checks and he's banging the hottest bitch in this place, all of a sudden we're supposed to, that would be no different than watching Alfonso Ribeiro fucking Carlton Banks from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That'd be fucking no different than one day fucking Carlton just pops up, yo, my nigga, what's up? And you're like, wait a minute. Dude, who you trying to fool? You ain't tough. You ain't hard. Go ahead with that, man. Get the fuck out of here with that. Come on, right? It was just so comical. This promo, comical for all the wrong reasons, right? It's one thing if you have people laugh with you, but you should not have people laugh at you. And this promo was just so goddamn bad on so many levels. Wasn't my cup of tea. Was not my cup of tea whatsoever. So let me see if I got this straight. So he basically bitch slaps, sucker punches the hell out of Hook, because Hook had the audacity to have his FTW championship with him. And god damn it, that's what broke the camel's back. God damn it, it was that. Never mind the fact that you had a really good match against the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Never mind that. You lost, it happens. Never mind you were involved with the whole Four Pillars thing, yada, yada, yada. Right? Never mind that. Never mind whatever other title shots you had. Those weren't the straw that broke the camel's back. Never mind the fucked up shit that Christian Cage was saying about you. Talk about the ultimate betrayal too, by the way, right? Never mind any of that stuff. Never mind some of the bad things that Christian Cage was saying about Jack Perry's father. Didn't he have, I could have sworn he said some stuff and was trying to flirt with moms and sister for Jungle Boy as well. So, right, never mind all of that. That's not gonna make you snap. No, what's gonna make you snap is the fact that some guy who has basically, for all intents and purposes, let's call it for what it's worth, y'all, a fucking replica title, a replica championship, that he admits himself in this same promo, I know that title is not recognized here in AEW. but I know how much that title means to you, Hook. Okay. I know how much it means to your family. Okay. That's why I'm gonna take it. I just... At this point, I just threw my hands up in the air and I just said, what the fuck? Seriously, this was... so many levels, this was bad. On the one hand, if you're a Hook fan, you're looking at this and you're saying, well, at least we finally are in a position where we get to see Hook get more TV time, because at one point they were doing this man right. And then they fucked up with the kid. They really did. They fucked up with him. But this right here, oh my God. You can miss me with all of this, seriously. You know, there's certain people that you want to see get their ass kicked because they play the chicken shit heel so good. And this was the opposite effect, I would have to say. It was. I didn't even enjoy seeing him run like a punk bitch and jumping over the guardrail when Hook had came out spoiling for a fight. And then seeing him jump in the back of some vehicle and taking off. I would imagine this girl was in the back there when they took off and everything. So, you know, what does this mean going forward? Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, Jungle Boy and Anna JS, they're a couple. So, or is it... Yeah. I was about to say Chris Statlander. No, it's not Chris Statlander. It's Anna J. So, does this mean that eventually we're gonna see Jungle Boy and Chris Jericho? Does this mean that we're gonna see him incorporated and become an honor member there for the Jericho Appreciation Society? An honorary member is what I was thinking. If anybody could potentially maybe mold him up a little better, get him into a better position, yeah, Jericho might be able to do it. We'll see. But what's happening right now? Off to a rocky start. Next up, main event. Sting, Darby Allin taking on Sammy G, Painmaker, Chris Jericho. Interesting. I wasn't expecting for Chris Jericho and Sting to be in this match and do a big bulk of the work, especially when it came to some pretty insane spots. There was one spot particularly, so let me see if I got this straight. Sting, 62, 63, 64. He climbs up on top of a ladder inside the ring, dives off of it to try to do a body splash onto Sammy G, laid over two wooden tables. And the way Sting had pretty much, he barely was able to get onto that first table with Sammy G. The second table did not even break. But the way Sting pretty much, I challenge anybody, put that bitch in slow motion if you want. When I initially saw that shit go down, I'm going, is his knees okay? Sting, I'm talking about. I'm going, is his knees okay? Because the way he landed, it wasn't like he was trying to land in a way where, no, it's really going to be a full body splash. And yeah, man, let's just get crazy. Let's get nuts. This was a body splash, and then pretty much at the last second deciding, I want to try to land on my feet. And in the process, your knees get bent like fucking crazy or whatever. I did not like that spot, especially seeing that basically it looked very uncomfortable. It looked very uncomfortable. Sting did not get all of that in there. I never want to see Sting doing anything like that again. Never want to see anything like that happen from him again. That spot was totally unnecessary. That should have been Darby's crazy ass all the way. Look, it's one thing if, hey man, this is pretty much it. These are the final 5 matches that we're getting of the Icon Sting. Okay, and you want to make sure that in these final 5, you're giving the fans something they can be proud of, something that they can walk away from and say, yo, I was there for those final 5, for one of those final 5 matches, and yeah, man, he really tore the house down. Oh, he was the Sting of, oh, la 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 la. But yeah, that and I would imagine there's going to be a decent amount of people that's going to look at this and they're going to say some opposite stuff. Brilliant, marvelous, spectacular, stupendous. They're going to say all kinds of. But for me, I will now look. I'll give you this. Sting and Jericho did better, believe it or not. They actually did better in their performance here tonight than at Forbidden Door. I will give them that. Because they seem to be more in sync, more in tune with one another. You know, it was almost as if, I don't know if maybe they were making their rounds, seeing what was being said about them online, reading the reviews, checking out podcasts or whatever. But it kind of seemed as though they wanted to go into this one, and who knows, maybe they both had a heart-to-heart talk backstage. And hey, man, that didn't quite feel good to me. It didn't quite feel like the way I thought it was going to go down. How about you? Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. You know, maybe we can have a drink, play this back, you know, try to go from here, you know, where we can go next with this. And look, if that's ultimately what happened, that's good. That's actually good. But I enjoyed this more than what they did at Forbidden Door. But once again, just some of the stuff that I saw there, especially that table spot, Sting, not needed, my dude. Come on. Seriously, not freaking needed. Jericho tapping out to the Scorpion Deathlock. Can we talk about Jericho for a little bit too? This man, I tell you, I got a lot of respect for freaking Jungle Boy, but Jungle Boy, oh my God, not Jungle Boy. I was looking at the chat, like I'm seeing somebody just no, in regards to Sting and Jericho can't make up his fucking mind for nothing. He cannot shelve that Judas song, even if it's just for one night. He can't shelve it for nothing. You hear this music, you're going, oh, okay, Jericho, oh, sounds like maybe he's trying to do the stuff he was doing in Japan for his theme music. Okay, hey, cool, Painmaker, cool. And after about 60 seconds, it goes right into the usual stuff, the sing-along. I just shook my head. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Like, really? And I'm like, really, dude? Really? Right? Not just for one night. Just for one night. You're Painmaker now. Just one night. It's like, and he's still coming out to that song. I'm like, whatever, dude. But yeah, Jericho tapping out there to the Scorpion Deathlock. I would imagine this still is not done. If you watch the scrum, you saw Jericho go a little crazy there. I would imagine this is just going to continue to what we're witnessing right now. It's the unraveling psychologically of the code breaker, of the lion tamer, Y2J Chris Jericho. I would imagine it's just going to have him go down a deeper spiral, and I would guess that now Jericho is pretty much going to have his Joker Sting moment. He's going to have his Joker Painmaker moment. I would assume. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. I'm a little bit curious to see where this is going to go. I definitely feel this is not over by a long shot. You know, that it's only the storyline, that it's only going to get better. But can these guys can they keep up the momentum, keep cranking it up, and can particularly Sting rise to that occasion? Yeah, that's gonna be we'll have to wait and see on that one. But average action on this episode. I don't see how anybody could give this show overall a 9 or a 10 or even an 8. I think I ended up saying, a couple of you guys in the Discord too that had said same thing, but as far as a grade goes, this was probably a C average show, maybe a C plus at best. I know at one point I said C minus, and I said C minus right around the Jungle Boy Jack Perry promo, but yeah, this was kind of one of those. Well, that's in the books. Next, kind of one of those type of deals. Y'all been enjoying yourself so far. If you have not done so already, do me a huge favor and hit the like button. Help put more eyeballs on the content. Feel free to subscribe as well. Couple of more little things we can get into. I told you guys we're gonna keep it short, sweet, and simple for tonight, and then we're pretty much gonna roll out all that good stuff. Did you guys hear in regards to Starrcast 6? It's official. You guys probably knew it was going to be official, but still, to hear that, because I know there's been, some years where Connor Thomas is kind of like, I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I have to look into that. But Starrcast 6, it's going down in Chicago. Once again, it's going to be a part of AEW's All Out Weekend. And the way it's looking right now, remember, Starrcast 6, All Out Weekend, pretty much September 1st through the 3rd in Chicago. Good folks over there at FIFO, shout out to them. They're reporting that the event has been in the works apparently for some months, and it was simply waiting for an official announcement on All Out, which was made, of course, at Forbidden Doors. So that's pretty good. That's a good announcement. Will I be going? No, I will not be going. If I maybe was not going to be in the thick of it all with what's going to be my craziest semester yet, because that's fall semester for me, I'm taking about 20 credit hours worth of courses when it's all said and done. And that would be a lot for me to do all that zigzagging, and I'm going to keep it simple. I was thinking about it, but I'm going to keep it simple. If anything, I actually was thinking about coming up to Chicago sometime during the month of August. I'm just trying to wait and see how that would all play itself out, if I would actually make it work, hang out with Mish out there for a little bit and everything, and do a little sightseeing, all that good stuff. But yeah, keep you guys posted on that one. Doesn't look like as far as when tickets is going to be going on sale, no word yet. Sami Zayn making the news. Apparently his charity shirt has been removed after a cease and desist order. So let me set this up properly for you guys. The t-shirt raffle. You guys know from time to time Sami Zayn, he'll do these raffles, and it's all for a very worthy event, very worthy charitable event and everything. But Sami Zayn's t-shirt raffle for charity ended up getting pulled after a what's being described as an apparent cease and desist order was sent out. And Zayn had announced a raffle for his Bloodline shirt that was signed by the entire Bloodline, as well as other WWE superstars, with all the proceeds going towards his Sammy for Syria campaign. This is something that he's very, very passionate about. A fan who bought raffle tickets posted to the Squared Circle subreddit and noted that they were informed by Pro Wrestling Tees themselves that the shirt had to be removed after they received a cease and desist notice. Not clear who the cease and desist was sent from at this time, but as Fightful reports, Zayn and Pro Wrestling Tees have deleted the related tweets in regards to the raffle. So, I mean, it's easy to speculate whether or not WWE was behind this, and, you know, they decided, hey, man, no, you can't do that. Come on, you got to take it easy. No. You know, just kind of one of those, we'll sadly never really will know. But I mean, if you honestly had to put an educated guess out there. But I mean, even at that, here would be my rebuttal to that line of logic. When's the last time you went on the Pro Wrestling Tee store on a semi-regular basis to see whatever items that Sammy had available at his store, and if he had something that was available for auction and everything, right? You know, you have to ask that, because you got to take that into consideration. Now, I'll tell you what we'll do right now. Even though that auction is over and done with, let's just, out of curiosity, let's see what happens when you try to find some Sami Zayn merchandise, and he's coming up as El Generico, and that's cool. And let's see what else we got here. We got nothing as far as El Generico goes. We've got nothing on his Pro Wrestling Tees store. There's nothing on there. All right, unless there's another name we need to try. It's kind of one of those, yeah, you can pretty much forget about it. Now, you know what? If I were to guess, because I always frequent WWE shop, looking at, you know, cool items that they have for sale and everything, I would not be surprised. This is an educated guess. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. Big difference, though, is when I make a mistake, I man up to it and admit it. But if I were to put an educated guess out there, let me tell you what I think might have happened. And the intent is good on Sammy's part. No issue with that whatsoever. But I would not be surprised if someone within corporate got wind of this and pretty much was like, yo, and decided, yeah, we need to go ahead and shut that down. But as a consolation prize, here's what needs to happen. Let's put it over here instead. Now, for those of you that frequent WWE shop like I do, you know, once in a while, you'll see WWE list some items off for auction. They'll have some really cool auction thing that'll go down. And normally, you can always count on those auctions happening a month before SummerSlam, or as it gets a little bit closer to SummerSlam. Past couple of years, that's been their track record. They'll usually have some type of an auction going on. And we've talked about it here on the show. One of the auctions that they'll do is have lunch. I remember there was one year, have lunch with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, I think it was. You know, they'll usually do some interesting stuff like that. So I would not be surprised if that shirt in question were to resurface again, but it's just going to be part of the WWE auction. And that way, you know, now I know some of you guys will go, so what's going to happen with the proceeds? I would imagine the proceeds will all definitely go to Sami Zayn's, you know, respective campaign. I don't see any of that. Contrary to disbelief, I don't see any of that going towards Connor's cure. I strictly see this ending where, you know, hey man, this is a WWE thing, and, you know, we could do even better good putting this up for auction over here. I bet you that's what's going to happen. So to my point, keep your eyes peeled on that same shirt. If you were interested in trying to put in a bid for it, just keep that in the back of your head, and don't be too surprised if you end up seeing that pop up on their auction joint. And bookmark it, have it ready to go. Have all your debit card, credit card information ready to go and everything. I came close a couple of times because I tried to participate in a couple of those WWE auctions. There was a couple of things I was eyeballing. I remember at one point, I'm trying to think, did I try for the Triple H Stephanie lunch? And I don't know. I didn't go for that. There's something that had piqued my interest, and I was like, yeah, let me look into this. I can't think of it right now because it was a couple of years ago. It was something I was very interested in. I didn't win. I was nowhere close. Nowhere close. I pretty much backed out. After. No, JoJo, you can't do pay as you go. Not understand something. When I say auction, I'm not talking about signed memorabilia. I'm not talking about that. WWE has done these auctions over the years where, say for instance, hey, we've got this, I just mentioned it. Hey, have lunch with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Get a walk of the SummerSlam grounds, before it's open to the general public. Check out the exclusive WWE store, and basically bidding will start at blah 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 blah. And I'm sorry, not sorry, but if you think that you'll ever see at WWE store a shirt like that, of which I just described, and it's signed by the Bloodline and a whole bunch of WWE superstars, if you think for 1 second you're gonna see that at WWE shop, and you can try to do the little zip joint or whoever, I know these days they're with the company Zip, it's $10,000, but you can get it if you just make 4 installments of whatever. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Even I can tell you that, and I've been shopping on WWE's website off and on for almost 10 years now. That's never gonna fucking happen. So take it from somebody. Trust me, and my wife will tell you, I've spent a lot of money on WWE shop merchandise, to the point you guys will see a video that I'll drop later this week. But if you look behind me on the sofa, you may have noticed the past couple of streams, there's a picture back there that's chilling on the sofa. That I was actually able to purchase. Not bid, that I actually was able to purchase recently. You'll see the video on that when it drops. You'll know it when you see it. Just stay connected and you'll know it when you see it. See, some other stuff. By the way, shout out to Jonathan Majors. Boy, that fucking went the way it went, huh? I mean, my God, social media and everybody that had an opinion and never knew about this dude before, never heard of him, everybody had a negative opinion on this guy and all of that. And if that is not a prime example of, and I love how you had the racial overtones that was going on here with this respected story, and how so many people couldn't help but compare Jonathan Majors to what all was going on with Urza Miller and everything. I looked at that, and if you've noticed when certain stories come out, if you've noticed in recent months, I've been very quiet. And my whole thing has been, you know what? I want to comment. I wish I can comment right then and there on the spot. But this is something of a developing story. We don't know all the facts. We need more information as it becomes available so that we then can, okay, here it is. Here's everything. There's nothing left to be discovered. Here it is. Okay, now let's discuss. For us here at the show, it's not about, okay, well, here it is. This is what I think. It's more about, if anything, exploring both sides of the coin, paying attention to that gray middle area as well. and then how you all walk away, you know, at least you're walking away a little bit more enlightened and everything, you know. But that stuff there with Jonathan Majors, if that's not a prime example of don't jump the gun when you don't know all the facts, I don't know what is. Seriously, I don't know what is. So, you know, I can't say I'm happy for the brother or anything like that, because it was never a case where I came to his defense. Even when I was talking about the situation with friends and family, I never, if anything, I would just say, hey, seeing what's going on with this Jonathan Majors news? Jonathan Majors, for you guys that don't know, he was the main antagonist in the most recent Creed movie with Michael B. Jordan. If you follow your Marvel movies, Kane the Conqueror, and everything. But yeah, he was in a sticky situation involving a female, and it was going in one direction, and many thought that his career was essentially over. A lot of people really jumped on that bandwagon when his publicist or agency that was representing him, when they basically had decided, yeah, we're done with you, we're going to drop you, we're going to go in a different direction. So I don't know, to each its own. But crazy shit right there. Hey, let's talk about the card for this week's AEW Rampage. It's looking pretty solid for this coming Friday, and then we got Collision as well. So, and if you guys are going to be out and about this Friday, have no fear. As far as Rampage goes, I will be on the 41mania.com site at 10 p.m. Eastern, providing live coverage for you guys. You can interact with me and our awesome community that's over there. But this Friday for Rampage, we've got a ROH World Championship match. Claudio Castagnoli versus Commander. Taya Valkyrie versus Shida. That should be a really good one. Sean Spears taking on The Blade. That should be another good one. QT Marshall and Johnny TV, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Nitro, John Morrison. Teaming up to take on Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy. That is your card for this Friday's AEW Rampage. Meanwhile, for AEW Collision, conflicting information. A lot of us were under the impression that as far as this week's Collision goes, it was not going to be live. Now, you know, there's the reports out there by the reputable people that there are going to be times where Collision is going to be taped, and it's going to be taped right along with ROH. At least that's the way it seems to be. Of course, those plans could change, obviously. But if you had heard the read down tonight on Dynamite, Excalibur did reveal that Collision was going to be live. We'll see. That's all I gotta say. We'll see. So, the reason why I'm saying it like that is because there were a couple of times tonight where Excalibur was spending so much time just trying to do a quick read that, for once, he was messing up reading his lines. So we'll see what goes down. But the way it's looking right now for this Saturday's Collision TBS Championship match, Chris Statlander defending against Lady Frost. I love Lady Frost. I've been checking out her work on Independence. Saw a little bit of her stuff in NWA. Saw just a tiny little bit of her stuff in Impact Wrestling before she got injured, and ultimately she decided she wanted to roll out. So I like the last outing that we saw of her on AEW television. I'm definitely pulling for her in this one as far as having another good performance. And then we got the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament matches. We got Ricky Starks taking on Juice Robinson, Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Dustin Rhodes, Samoa Joe facing Roderick Strong, and for the first time on Collision, early early here, third episode in, we've got MJF who's going to be in ring action. So that's what all is going to be going down. I don't know if I'm going to be with Mish and them from Wrestling Soup, Mish and Joe. I don't know if I'm going to be with them this Saturday for AEW Collision, because I don't know who they have announced as guests yet, like if they finalized it. I know I told them I'm available, more than happy to do it. So, I think that's just going to remain up in the air right now until, I hear otherwise. But I may pop up again this Saturday, or, but I definitely, and I'll make sure I let Mish and them know, I definitely don't mind popping up every other Saturday for that, because it's nice to chat with them and everything. It's always nice going on to other people's shows, or just when you're doing a show with multiple people and all y'all's thoughts can come together, especially when you all have watched something at the same time, and just the unique perspectives. It just makes very interesting discussion. So that's what all is going to be going down for your AEW programming this week. I did not get a chance to check out the new Dark Side of the Ring featuring what is it? Junkyard Dog. I did not get a chance to check that out. Shout out to Joseph. Did not get a chance to check that out. I will check it out next week. You know how I'm watching these Dark Side of the Ring episodes, right? I'm watching them for free these days because there's a couple of kind YouTubers that's uploading them in a relatively timely manner. So I'm waiting for the Junkyard Dog fix. So, hook a brother up already. But no, I will comment on the Junkyard Dog episode Monday, for sure. Monday. Because I know definitely by Monday I will have seen it by then. We don't have any other wrestling news items to get into. So I say let's go ahead. Let's close it out by talking about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view event that's going to be happening in good old jolly England. Shout out to you guys in England. We've got a decent amount of supporters of the show. No bullshit. I'm not just saying this just to be saying it. It's honestly the truth. I mean, whenever I go, I check out the analytics on YouTube videos, or I check out the analytics for the podcast audio. UK has always been kind to me over the years. So I legit am happy that you guys are getting to experience a WWE premium live event, and it's going to be during decent hours. That's the best part. It's going to be during decent hours. O2 Arena, London, England, WWE Money in the Bank. Let's go there. Let's talk about these matches. We got 7 matches. Wow, 7 matches. That's like a piece of cake, right? I mean, seriously, 7 matches. This joint's going to be kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern. Now, before you ask, will I be doing a post show? Let me look at my work schedule real quick here, and I can tell you, because I can't remember. Highly unlikely, because I'm seeing that I don't get off work until 5 o'clock. So I would imagine the pay-per-view is going to be off by then. So, I would say that's a tricky one. I'll tell you what. Let me get with the wifey, because we have plans that weekend. Let me get with the wifey. I'm not going to break those plans, but let me get with the wifey and let me try to figure out, because maybe there's a time period that I'm not thinking of, because she's usually pretty good with that stuff. She's like, well, why don't you do the show around this time? And it's like, oh, all right, good. Off the break, I'm thinking maybe talk about Money in the Bank Sunday? Would that make any sense? Sunday morning? Or, I'll tell you what, no, here's something that makes more sense. What I'll most likely end up doing, I'll pre-record the post show. I'll pre-record thoughts on the Money in the Bank, and I'll upload it for you guys. There you go. That's how we'll solve that. Okay? Money in the Bank. Here's your card. Gunther Intercontinental Championship. He's defending against Matt Riddle. You know, the cool thing that I like about this particular card, there could be some really cool ass moments that could go down here. There could be some surprise appearances that could legit happen on this card. You just gotta be careful that as far as your finishes goes for some of these matches, you gotta make sure that if there's gonna be some funny shenanigans that's gonna be going down, you gotta make sure you don't spam it out too much, and you gotta have each one count where it counts the most and be unique and talkative in its own way, if that makes any sense. But Gunther taking on Matt Riddle for the Intercontinental Championship, I'm not seeing Gunther losing the title, not just yet. He is still on a freaking roll. Riddle short shorts. Don't get me started on the Riddle short shorts, man. The Riddle short shorts, God, it's very distracting. It's funny because the very first time I saw him when he came back, I'm going, hey, his joints look like Funyuns. It's got the Funyun designs. And I was like, nah, all of a sudden I want some Funyuns. And more and more I'm looking at his trunk design and all that. I'm going, I want Funyuns. And now it's just, it's definitely, look, I'm sure there's those out there that, you know, they like the distraction. They welcome the distraction, right? I mean, we have our moments, all right? We have our moments with some of our favorite talents, right? I know for me, anytime Trish Stratus comes out, good, googly moogly. It's just, right? But anyway, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler defend the women's tag team titles against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Oh, so she's now Rodriguez. What happened to Gonzalez? They've dropped that? I don't see Liv Morgan and Raquel. No. I still feel, to follow up on what I had said a couple of weeks ago, shortly after Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler had won these tag titles, I said, good, let them continue to just stomp a mud hole on the women's roster for a bit, and if you want to have some new, fresher faces eventually be the ones to get the titles off of them that definitely feel as though they're going places, I went with Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro as my respected pick. I definitely feel you can do something with those girls. They've got a great look about them. They both extremely complement the hell out of each other. So, yeah, I definitely... And look, in regards to Raquel, I need to see that Raquel that was a dominating force at one point, that was an ass kicker, a solo ass kicker at that, back in her NXT days. I need to see that, and she was feuding with Dakota Kai and all that. I need to see that Raquel Rodriguez make her return. I need to see that Raquel Rodriguez that had that significant chip on her shoulders and all that. That's the one I need to see eventually come back. Stop fucking around with this tag team crap. You know, you do this right, you build her up just right. Next year, you could essentially have this girl be the one to potentially win the Royal Rumble, and then challenge maybe Raquel, Rhea Ripley for the what is it? What is that title now? I'm trying to think. What is that title now? Is that the? Hang on, I can tell you real quick, because I'm trying to look for Rhea Ripley here. I think they just called that the. I know it's not the Divas title, but I know Asuka is Asuka's title I'm thinking about. That was renamed recently, so Rhea Ripley is now pushing. Hang on here. Oh God, is it Raw? No, it's not Raw. SmackDown women's title, women's world title. You just get so fucking confused. Yeah, you gotta forgive me, because it's like, what are they calling these joints these days, man? But yeah, so I could see something like that happening, but I need to see Raquel be done with this already. Liv Morgan, look, she's hitting particular age demos when it's all said and done, but and I would imagine for older guys around my age, a little older, they're probably getting their jollies off. But for me personally, she does nothing for me. Bland, 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 as far as I'm concerned. Bloodline. Let's save that one because that's probably going to be the main event. Seth freaking Rollins taking on Finn Balor, singles match, World Heavyweight Championship. I like the story that's been developing here these past couple of weeks. I definitely got to give it up to these guys, especially for Finn Balor. Finn Balor has definitely been stepping it up. I love this built-in hatred, this animosity, this touch of evil, if you will. So much hatred. You know, if you let that hatred consume you so much, you go into a very dark place. And I wonder if by Finn Balor coming up short again, if that just might push Finn Balor over the edge. Demon Balor returns. Have to wait and see. You know, there's also the possibility that maybe JD McDonough, you know, they keep circling each other. They've been dancing around each other off and on these past couple of months, and I love the way WWE has been planning in little birdseed cameos here and there and everything. Obviously, they've got something in mind with these respected guys. So how that exactly does JD maybe look, man, you don't need Judgment Day come, right? You know, that's kind of one of those, you know, what's going to happen right here. If there was ever a match where I would put an asterisk by it, I would put an asterisk by this one. Because JD could, you just don't know. There could be something in the cards here. You just don't know. You just don't know. I think this one is very close to call. Because I don't see this being a joint where the people you think is going to win is going to just all the way. I usually on this show, I always say if there's one match I'm going to put an asterisk by, it could go either way. And for this one, this is it. Very rare will I put two asterisks to a match. But this one for sure, put an asterisk by it because it could go either way. Cody Rhodes, Dominic Mysterio. Yo, I gotta tell you, I've been loving the shit that's been going on with, and shout out to JoJo. JoJo's like, hey, it's my first time here. Welcome. Yeah, I remember seeing your comment a couple of days ago. That was cool. JoJo had first came in, pretty much he had heard my appearance on Soup, because we were doing the AEW Collision Super Show and everything. I wanted to say so much more, but and Mish knows how I am, man. I'm very low key. I'm in the cut, chilling, taking everything in. I'm jumping in where it counts the most. But Jeff Lipman, shout out to Jeff. Jeff was throwing me off guard, I gotta tell you. But that's a wild motherfucker, man. That's a wild motherfucker. He was throwing me off big time. I had a tight ass Powerhouse Hobbs story I was gonna share too, but like each time I was getting thrown off by him. Crazy ass motherfucker. Cody Rhodes, Dominic Mysterio. I love what's been happening here with Dom and Cody. Dom bitch slapping the hell out of Cody Rhodes these past couple of weeks. I fucking have loved it. And you know what it reminds me of? True story. And I've never shared this story publicly before. There are going to be some of you guys that's mean. But these were the type of antics that we were doing as kids growing up. So I remember, God, maybe 15, 16, first year, high school. I remember for that whole fucking year, one of my best friends at that time, whenever they would make for lunch cold cut sandwiches, and they would usually give us the, sandwich in between, white bread. But then there'd be times where we would have it in a submarine roll. It's like, ooh, right? And they would already have put the mustard and all that on it. And it's like, Magnifica, right? And I remember for that whole year, just out of nowhere, and I would catch this dude off guard, I would bitch slap him with a sandwich. I would just take a sandwich and I would put a lot of mustard and mayo on that bitch. I'd eat my sandwich. I'd be all that good shit. I'd make sure he was nice and comfortable, completely off guard. Get him laughing or whatever, something stupid, and then I would just smack the hell out of him with the sandwich, and then I'd go haul ass. I would just haul ass, and I'd be, man, I was the Flash back then. Like, good luck trying to catch my ass, because it ain't happening, okay? And we did that for like a whole fucking year. And then finally, my luck ran out. There was one time, that final time. I think he was ready for it too. Because something said, smack with the sandwich. And we do our usual Tom and Jerry fucking routine. But this go round, I'm trying to make my exit out the cafeteria. I trip a little bit on one of the stairs. So I do and I'm trying to hurry up and catch myself from falling. And I rebounded, got my pacing back, got my frame, everything back. Set, okay, go. And right as I was about to go, he tackled my ass like a lineman. He was like on my ass. Like the goal line was right there. All I had to do was just go out the doorway. I'm home free, touchdown. And all of a sudden, he jumped on my ass, tackled me down, took the sandwich. And he started smacking the shit out of me with it. And I said, Uncle. He's like, we're even now. He's like, motherfucker. I bring that up because that's what Dominic Mysterio and Cody Rhodes, what he's been doing to him. That's exactly what it's been reminding me of. But eventually, all good things, it has to come to an end. And as I like to say on the show, the chase is better than the catch, okay? But the way that they've been doing this with Dom and Cody, I fucking have loved it. And I see this ending. I'm gonna go with a controversial pick here. I am going to say that Brock Lesnar will return. For those of you that haven't been with the show that long, I have been saying since that night after WrestleMania when Cody was supposed to team with Brock and Brock fucked him up, I pretty much have been saying since that period. So that's a couple of months ago. I've been saying since that period, we're going to do the scenic route with Cody and Brock now. These guys are going to fuck with each other. They're going to take it through SummerSlam. It'll wrap up at SummerSlam. And remember, Cody's like, hey, here's my manifest. I'll be here. I'll be there. I'll be everywhere. Where, right? So I've got Brock popping up. What I can't quite figure out is how do you incorporate Brock? Like, I don't see this being a clear cut, Cody's going to get a win. I don't see that happening. I do not see that happening at all. It almost kind of feels as though the way that you would have to do this, I definitely don't see Brock Lesnar physically doing anything to Dominic. You don't want to do that because that's just going to greatly devalue him and make him look like a chump. But then you can make an argument that, well, no, either way, Dom's getting a moment because he's at the O2 London Arena. He's going to be in front of a jam-packed house. He's going to get one pretty nice-ass payday. He's sharing a ring with Cody Rhodes and a moment there with Brock. Like, what the hell? So, I mean, on the one hand, you could have Brock do something to Dom, and Dom talk mad shit afterwards, next night on Raw. You could go that route, but I don't see WWE doing that with Dom. I don't see them having Brock beat him down or give him a F5 or some weird shit. Like, I don't see that happening. I see Dom, minute he sees that Brock is there, hauling ass. So the way that this is potentially looking, maybe Brock interferes. Maybe Brock just, okay, you told me where you were going to be. I'm here. There's your DQ right there. Cody wins via DQ. Dom is still protected because he never did get beat, right? So you could do it like that, and then at least you have Dom coming out there. Hey, you lucky that Brock did what he did to you, and even at that, I still don't see Brock ever. They're going to be in their own little island, Will Cody and Brock. So take that for what it's worth. But on this one, look for a Brock Lesnar appearance. I'm going to go with a DQ win for Cody, but look for Brock. Going to be the main catalyst for all that. Zelina Vega versus Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark versus Bayley versus Io Sky versus Trish Stratus. Money in the Bank ladder match for a women's championship match contract. Process of elimination here. Because this is pretty easy for me. Zelina Vega, no. Becky Lynch, no. Bayley, no. Io Sky, no. Yeah, it really comes down to Trish and Zoe. And look, I know some people have been toying with the idea of Trish, being the one to potentially get the money in the... Trish doesn't need it. Trish does not need it. Trish is just fine as she is, figuratively and like literally, right? But no, seriously, Trish is fine without a Money in the Bank briefcase. Trish does not need to win this. Your whole point of having Trish be back into the fold once again is to help elevate the younger talent, help bring them up to a certain level. That way, when you have veteran talent such as Trish Stratus, okay, I fulfilled all my dates here and my time is done. They're leaving the WWE in a better position roster-wise than before they came, right? So if you're not going into this Money in the Bank ladder match with the sole intent of, hey, we got to do everything in our power to make sure that, and to get somebody new over, if you're not going into this and saying, look, we got to put Zoe over, I don't know about that. Io Sky, I like Io Sky, but she offers nothing. Just that sad, pouty little look. Bayley. See, it would be nice if Bayley were to get it. It would be nice, especially if you wanted to. Now, here's how you make Bayley work. If you were to pull the trigger and you were to make it be Bayley. Bayley would work if you were to do it in a way where after she wins Money in the Bank, she starts to get delusional and it's pretty much, see, me all along, me, right? I'm the one. And just like that, in the process, that's it for Damage Control. So, believe it or not, in regards to this match, I'm actually going to put an asterisk by Bayley. don't be too surprised if Bayley were to win this, but my personal pick, I'm going to go with Zoe Stark. The main two you need to be eyeballing, Bayley, Zoe Stark, but I'm going to go with Zoe Stark. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match for a men's championship match contract. We got Ricochet, Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, Logan Paul. I know a lot of people, we got the reports being put out there that supposedly Logan Paul is going to win Money in the Bank. I don't know about all that. I mean, they're like literally reporting this as fact. I don't know about all that. Look, if Logan Paul were to win Money in the Bank, you know what? I would look at that and I would say, okay, I welcome that, because that means Logan Paul is definitely going to be around on a little bit more of a regular basis than what we've been accustomed to seeing of him during his first year in WWE. So I would look at that as actually a good thing. The man has proven that he, without a doubt, is indeed a social media influencer. Tap into that audience. If you're WWE, yes, do whatever marketing. Yes, tap into it, because it's a win-win fucking situation. He is hitting those respected demographics that you want to be checking out your product. And think about the coverage that you would get on all the sports shows, all the sports radio shows and everything. I would even believe that he would hit some of the newspapers as well, digital and physical copies as well. So yeah, I actually would welcome it. See, those that know a thing or two about business because they've got their own respected business, or maybe at one point they had their own respected business, right? They can actually look at this and say, well, you know what? That actually wouldn't be a good thing. And it'd be one thing if you were to say, oh, well, this person is a piece of shit. What the hell are they? It's just some freaking celebrity. That'd be one thing to say that, but this guy has proved time and time again that he's all that and then some, and he rightfully deserves to be in that ring. That's not a name I would sleep on, but let's not report it as fact that Logan Paul is going to win money. We don't know that just yet, right? These websites that's out there, they're just throwing shit to the wall, hoping that it sticks, so they can, in the process, see, we told you, we told you, we reported. No, you predicted. That's all you did. You predicted. Whatever. Logan Paul is the main one that's sticking out to me. Seeing Asuka win the championship gave me hope that maybe they could do something with Nakamura. I don't think it's right now, though. I don't think it's right now. That's going to sound really weird, but I'm a huge Nakamura fan. I met him a couple of years back, right along with Charlotte Flair here in D.C., part of Awesome Con Weekend. Very nice. Nakamura, total sweetheart. I'm not just saying that lightly, really a total sweetheart. I witnessed him with every single fan that was taking the time out to, whether it was get an autograph or take a picture. So personal, physical from the standpoint of he would, touch everybody's hand or their shoulders, thank them for coming out to see him and all that. Very nice guy. So if you ever do a meet or greet and you see Nakamura is on the bill, money well spent. LA Knight, God, that dude has been on a fucking roll. That LA Knight, I really like what's been going on. LA Knight, that's my guy. That is my guy. He is the one that should win the whole damn thing. It should be LA Knight. It feels like a foregone conclusion here, but it's going to come down to those two, LA Knight, Logan Paul. If you were to force me to pick one, I don't think the Money in the Bank. Yeah. I'm just picturing this in my head. Give me a second to think about this, because there's a couple of different scenarios we could go with this one here. No. Logan Paul's path could potentially be Royal Rumble. His path could actually be Royal Rumble, and he could actually win it and then go main event or WrestleMania, believe it or not. That sounds really fucking crazy, but I kind of feel as though that is ultimately what's going to be in the cards for Logan Paul. Mark this date, timestamp the time. Logan Paul will be your 2024 Men's Royal Rumble winner. I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to say LA Knight. If Logan Paul were to win Money in the Bank, I have no issue with it. I already outlined it for you guys. But they really should go with LA Knight. I'm personally going to go with LA Knight. All right, we got one more match. Bloodlines, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa taking on the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso. They're dubbing this the Bloodline Civil War Tag Team Match. This has been one of, I was telling Mission them during their show with Kev Castle, shout out to Kev, earlier today. I said, you know, this has been one of the best story arcs in WWE in recent memory, and I actually had to take the time out to really think about this. I had to really take the time to go, when was the last time I was this heavily invested in a story arc, in a character and or a story arc? And I had to go back to Summer of Punk, WWE. I had to go back to that moment, and when we thought we were done and Punk came back and he still had the WWE Championship, and we had that whole controversy going on, and then when he ultimately had won, you know, he became the Undisputed Champion, and just that entire magical ride that was going on, leading all the way up to the pipe bomb moment, just everything that was happening with CM Punk for that long WWE Championship reign, everything was done so fucking right. That was the last time I would say I've been heavily invested into a story arc, and just what's been happening with this layout of long-term storytelling. You got to give WWE, they have their respective faults, and we've talked about it here on the show. You know, as I always tell you guys, I don't care who the promotion is. When they're doing right, I give them praise. When they're doing wrong, I'm on that ass. I'm offering constructive feedback and criticism. This is something that they have done just right. They've done it justice, and it reminds me so much of the MCU, the Marvel Comics universe, you know, the movie universe, because you see how all involved in the MCU. Now we've got this 10-year plan. This is how we're going to roll this out. This is how all these things is going to culminate in this one movie over here. And now we got James Gunn and them. They're essentially trying to do that with DCU. And it's off to a rocky start because Flash ain't doing too good, but that's an entirely different story. But I like how WWE is essentially going back to yesteryear, throwback storytelling, but at the same time incorporating, you know, kind of what obviously has been happening in movie cinema in recent years. I would imagine somebody has gotten in their ear, and look, the fact that it's called the Bloodline Civil War, somebody there is a Marvel Comics fan. And I would not be surprised if, we need to do like Marvel. We need to pull a fucking Marvel move here, and, you know, we can really play this out just right. You know, this feels like they've truly invested a lot of time into, okay, by this point we're going to be here, right? Like it's like a 20-step plan or some shit, right? It's like, okay, we're going to do this phase for about 3 months, then we're going to go here. I love it. It's good shit. As far as what's going to happen in this match, as far as my winners go, I see some type of fuckery. I see some type of fuckery being involved in this one. You know, it sucks that Naomi is with Impact Wrestling because Yo, and look, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen. I know in the past, WWE and Impact, they have scratched each other's back in the past. So, to my point, maybe Naomi, that's an entertaining idea. Maybe Naomi makes some type of an appearance there. Quite fed up with all the bullshit that's been going on with Roman Reigns and maybe where it counts most, maybe, right? Or one idea I threw around, well, what about Tamina? What about Tamina? You know, because I've been wanting to see Naomi and/or Tamina for the longest time involved in this bloodline storyline. I can dream. Let me dream. I know it highly is unlikely, but let me dream. This is interesting. It kind of feels like the Usos need to win this. If you're gonna tell the story of Roman Reigns and his whole empire, my kingdom for a horse. Shout out if you know your Shakespeare. Very powerful fucking words right there. My horse, my kingdom for a horse. At this point, all that king wanted to do was get the fuck out of battle. He did not care. He did not care for the men that pretty much were dying for his cause. He didn't care about that. You know? King Richard III, by the way. He didn't care about that. The men that were dying for, he didn't care about that. He saw he was losing the battle. He just decided, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Yo, my horse. Or rather, a horse. My kingdom for a horse. Look, man, you can have the entire world. All I'm asking you to do is give me a goddamn horse. World crumbling. That's how I'm looking at Roman Reigns here, and it's fantastic storytelling. It just feels like you've got to continue piling on. We've got to see Roman Reigns unhinged. We've got to see him in a position where, what the fuck, right? And consequences as well. This does not feel like, I gotta tell you, I'd be very surprised to see Roman and Solo come out with the win. I'd be very surprised unless you're introducing a new member. Unless you are introducing a new member. Now, who could that new member be? That's the main question. Who could that new member be? I'm thinking about the roster and you know, if it was up to me, and I wanted to make things interesting. What's the name of that stable that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's daughter is part of in NXT? Because they all are related now. But to my point, if you wanted to do something pretty cool, is it Prism? Schism? Some weird name. Jism? Whatever the fuck their name is. If you maybe wanted to do something, and at least that continues to play off of the main roster going to NXT roster coming up, the main roster, you know, keeps that whole thing going. If you maybe wanted to go down that route, and that has so many fun avenues that you could go down, especially if ultimately it means that The Rock himself would pop up in WWE to confront Roman, you know, in regards to, you know, Rock's daughter, and right, there's a whole lot that you could do right there. But unless you're gonna go down that path, I'm having a hard time seeing a new person be thrown into the mix there. Very hard time seeing it. But I'm gonna go with the Usos. All right, so one more time, taking it from the bottom, going up to the top here for Money in the Bank. Gunther over Riddle. Ronda, Shayna retaining the women's tag titles. What did I say for Rollins and Balor? I think I just kept saying put an asterisk by that match. But as far as who wins, just to be different, I'm gonna say Balor. I know I'm gonna be wrong, but I'm gonna say Balor. I'll just go with it. Go be different. Balor. Cody Rhodes, Dominic Mysterio. Cody will win via DQ, but look for the return of Brock Lesnar right there. For your Money in the Bank ladders match on the women's side, the two names you want to home in on is Zoe Stark and Bayley. I'm going with Zoe Stark for the win. And for your men's Money in the Bank, home in on LA Knight, Logan Paul. Smart money if they go with Logan Paul, but my personal pick is going to be LA Knight. And main event match, Bloodline Civil War. I'm eyeballing Usos for the win. That's how we're looking at it. That's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Only thing that sucks, by the time I get home to watch it, whatever edits WWE needs to do, they're going to already do it. So crowd, whatever. It's the only thing that's going to suck about that. But you know what? I'm still going to kick back and enjoy it for what it's worth. And like I said, later that night, I'll probably record something around maybe 8 o'clock at night, upload it, and it'll be scheduled to go live first thing, like ASAP, basically. Just put it out there ASAP for you guys. Check out and everything. But other than that, next edition, be live with you guys on Monday, July 3rd already. Monday, July 3rd. Now, don't forget, this Thursday night, I'll be streaming on Twitch. I'll actually be playing live AEW Fight Forever. So you're going to be around. Just as long as you're staying connected to me on the Twitter, the Facebook, and the community tab on YouTube, you'll know, because I'll share the link. And as soon as you see it, just hop on, come live and everything. Come live. Come on live and hang out with me and all that. It'll be good. It'll be good. Meanwhile, first time here, welcome. You haven't done so already, hit the like, hit the sub, all that jazz, so you don't miss future content that comes your way. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. Support the show on where are we, man? We got the Spreaker, we got the Stitcher is still going to be operating, but I think they're now going to be part of, what is it, Pandora or something like that? I got to read the press release. Like, we're already over there, though. No, Sirius. If I remember it right, Sirius. Yeah, as a matter of fact, hang on real quick, because I know there are a lot of you guys that use Stitcher, and I definitely want to give you that respected news. Yeah, Sirius XM, they're going to be closing Stitcher. But what's going to be happening in the process of that, podcasts are automatically, if I heard this right, here's the report. The Audio Corporation, known for its satellite radio stations, shutting down Stitcher in an attempt to get customers over to its flagship subscription service. Stitcher's premium subscriptions, which offered exclusive episodes and ad-free listening, are no longer available, but the company will keep making podcasts through Stitcher Studios and Earwolf. Company's listening platform had a combined 900,000 users as of March 2023. Bloomberg reported much of Stitcher's workforce is now based in New York and Los Angeles, according to LinkedIn, but SiriusXM has an office out in Oakland. So, trying to see. Yeah, so I'm still trying to learn more information about this, but if I heard it right, I think the podcasts that you're currently able to access on Stitcher, somehow there's going to be like this weird transition where I guess you'll be able to hear them through Sirius XM. I don't know. I'll have to look into that and figure out how all that's gonna go down. But we're all over the place, man. Alexa, just search the RCWR show, and you'll know us when you come across us. Leave ratings, leave reviews, helps out a ton, helps other people be able to discover the content with ease. For everybody that had tuned in live, much love, appreciate you guys, and we'll do this again for you guys very shortly. Until next go round, wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly be kind to one another. Y'all take care.